hope you will all excuse me as I read this speech. I'm a speech writer, not a speech giver, and this way it's just more comfortable. By the time I'm done, I'm hoping... We're not hearing you. Hello? Testing. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, I'm going to read the speech, so I hope you don't mind. And by the time I'm done, I'm hoping everyone here, including Leigh-Anne, her mom, and siblings, will learn at least one thing about her that even they didn't know. So, on behalf of myself and the bride's mother, Leigh-Anne, I'd like to welcome everyone here to celebrate Pi Day. Oh, and also, as the Edwards and Clabby's joined to become one big extended family, which will now extend from California to Texas to Maryland. My name is Melvin Edwards, and I'm the proud father of the beautiful bride, Leigh-Anne Clabby. It's going to take me a while to get used to that name, but with God's grace, that will always be your name, and I'll be around to have plenty of time to get used to it. You know, with our families joining in marriage today, this isn't as much a wedding as a collaboration. I should issue a disclaimer at this point. Any puns in this speech are due to the influence of the pun-loving group, Abe Clabby. Abe has forced my mind into a higher pun stratosphere to keep up with him. He's a smart young man, and I'm a competitive, not-so-young man. This is going to be a celebration. I hope no one here is offended by dancing, even horrifically bad dancing. I promise it will eventually pass. We hope to share some laughs and probably a few tears over the next couple of hours, but they're all happy emotions because this is a happy occasion. Bill and Joan, I commend you for raising such an honorable and lovable man. You should be proud of him, and I'm sure you are as proud of him as I am of my daughter. I'd like to thank the two of you for the hospitality and generosity in helping bring this event together. I also want to thank you for taking such good care of Leigh-Anne during those difficult months last year. Abe, that goes for you about tenfold. You impressed me with the care you showed for her, and I don't impress easily. Now for a little summary of Leigh-Anne's journey to today. She moved back to our home state of Texas from Maryland in the summer of 2013. She met Abe a couple of months later, and they formed a friendship that became the foundation for the relationship we're now celebrating. My hope is that friendship will always be the basis for their relationship as it changes and grows over the years. I've thought about this day for a long time. I watched the movie Father of the Bride because I thought about Leigh-Anne's wedding day, and it made me emotional. She was about a year old at the time I watched the movie. Leigh-Anne is my oldest of 4 children, with 3 of them being daughters. Before she was born, I envisioned her life and attached all of my ideals onto her. I'm proud of the woman she has become, and I'm honored by the special place she has reserved for me in her life. I never take for granted when I'm asked for advice, or she forwards an article to me that reminds me of our special bond through the Bible, the Beatles, or baseball. That's why I have to amend something I said during the ceremony that wasn't entirely the truth. I said her mother and I were giving her away. Speaking for myself, I refuse to give away my heart. But Abe, I'm honored to share her with you. With that in mind, let me share some things about your new bride that you may not know. Leigh-Anne has always had a strong will. At the age of 3 or so, I remember once at the age of 3 or so having her argue with me about the proper way to write the letter A in lowercase form. I normally wrote the letter the way it looks when it's typed, and she reasoned that it should be an O with a line on the side. I gave in to her, like I usually did, like I usually still do. It wasn't easy keeping the normal toddler secrets from her because she learned to read at 2 1/2, and spelling secret words around it was a waste of time. And those of you who know her, try writing an incorrect grammar and you'll see her eyes turn to fire. She was my only child for her first 4 years, and we spent a lot of time together alone. She was the only one at the time I felt comfortable singing around, and we'd sing songs together in the car. She never knew the lyrics, but always insisted her interpretation was the correct one. With that same dogmatism, she began preaching her version of the gospel when she was 3 years old. That's when she discovered on her own the truth about Santa Claus and wanted to make sure every other kid knew it too. Just like street preachers, her message wasn't always well received. As she grew up, her road to adulthood wasn't always smooth, and due to no fault of her own, wasn't always straight or without detours. Still, she was a model of maturity and perseverance. I've always admired her determination. And I want to tell you something else personal now. All I've ever wanted was to be someone's hero. Thank you for the times you made me feel like I was yours. The biggest secret is you've always been my hero. I love your intelligence and your adventurous spirit. I love you just because. You moved 5 states away from Maryland to Florida as a 17-year-old to go to college when you knew no one out there. Of course, when you met your maid of honor, Melissa, on your first day at Jacksonville University, I should have been more worried than I was, but I wasn't because I trusted you. While you were at JU, your adventurous spirit showed through when you were pledged Alpha Epsilon Phi sorority as a freshman. You took a sailing class as a sophomore, changed your major, then added a second major, and still graduated in 4 years with 2 degrees. And later, you took a shotgun shooting class your senior year. That class led to being recruited by the shooting team's coach, and that led to a trip here to Texas, where your team finished 3rd in the country in 2012. In that tournament, you shot better in one event than one of the team's captains, who had been shooting for years. You had only been shooting for 2 months. That's proof you are a true Texas woman. After graduation, you moved to Texas alone to start your adult life. That's bravery. As a writer, all the heroes of my stories are brave. They're all a lot like you. Abe, I want to publicly thank you for the respect you showed to me when you introduced yourself as you began dating my daughter, and even more when you asked my permission to propose to her. It will always be special. Thank you. I know my interview process isn't easy, but it's out of an intense love for my daughter and my way of protecting her. Congratulations, you passed. Now, I'm honored to welcome you into my family, and like the Old Testament prophet whose name you bear, I give my blessings to you and your new family, now and for generations to come. My mind is flooded with a million memories, but I'll begin to wind down my remarks now, but not before I offer some advice for you. It doesn't seem that long ago that Leigh-Anne's mom and I were the ages you are today. Time flies, and without warning, generations advance. Children become the parents, and parents become the grandparents. On my own journey, here are a few truths and lessons I've learned over the years. Forgiveness is expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than regret. Give forgiveness and accept it. Laughter is without cost, but never without benefit. Unless you're laughing while you're drinking milk. Never tell someone you've upset to calm down. Nobody needs to know everything you know just to prove you know it. And I know you've heard me say this plenty of times. Never act out of anger, fear, or boredom. Keep your faith at the center of your lives and share it by giving of yourself to those who need someone to care about. And finally, keep dreaming and always believe in each other's dreams with encouragement and support. Leigh-Anne, you have honored God. You've honored me. You honored Abe even before you knew who he was. You're a rare jewel in a world that substitutes cheap imitations for the real thing. You're a special person. Abe, she's your special person. Treasure. long, happy life together that includes blessings you can't even imagine right now. I love you, and I'm proud of both of you. Congratulations.